Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. Imagine wearing an infinite screen on your face that's sharper than any TV you've ever owned. Today, we're diving into Apple's Vision Pro with M5, a $3,500 device that's either the future of computing or the most expensive tech experiment of 2025.
And what's fascinating is that this isn't just about entertainment or gaming. We're seeing this technology reshape everything from brain-computer interfaces in healthcare to engine maintenance in aviation.
Let's start with the basics. What makes this new M5 version different from the original Vision Pro?
Well, the biggest change is actually something you feel rather than see, the new dual knit band. It completely transforms how comfortable the device is during long sessions.
Wait, so they made it more comfortable by making it heavier?
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, but they added tungsten inserts in the back strap that act as a counterweight. It distributes the weight more evenly across your head.
That's actually pretty clever. What about the M5 chip? What does that bring to the table?
The M5 is a game changer. It can render 10% more pixels than before, making text sharper and visuals crisper. Plus, it pushes the refresh rate up to 120 Hz in some cases.
Interesting. So it's basically like getting a better TV inside your headset?
Much more than that. The M5's neural engine is specifically optimized for AI workloads, which means developers can now run complex AI models directly on the device.
Speaking of developers, I've heard there's been some challenges getting apps made for the platform.
That's actually one of the biggest hurdles right now. Despite the amazing hardware, major apps like Netflix and YouTube still haven't released native Vision Pro apps.
Really? No Netflix on a $3,500 device?
Right, though you can still watch through the web browser. But here's what's interesting. The real innovation is happening in enterprise and specialized applications.
Tell me more about that. What kind of specialized applications are we talking about?
Well, there's this fascinating study by Cognixion using Vision Pro to help people with conditions like ALS communicate through brain-computer interfaces.
Wait, brain-computer interfaces? How does that work?
They use EEG sensors to read brain activity, and the Vision Pro's precise eye tracking and spatial awareness help translate those signals into actions.
That's incredible. Are there other healthcare applications?
Absolutely. The high-resolution pass-through cameras make it perfect for medical training and visualization. Some surgeons are even using it during procedures.
But what about regular businesses? How are they using it?
KLM Airlines has an interesting app for engine maintenance. Technicians can see 3D overlays of engine components and step-by-step repair guides in real time.
That makes a lot of sense. Better than flipping through a manual.
And architects and designers are using it to collaborate on 3D models in real time, even if they're in different locations.
How does that work with the new M5 chip?
The M5 can handle much more complex 3D models without lag, and the improved display makes fine details much clearer. It's like having an infinite 3D workspace.
Let's talk about the competition. How does it compare to something like the Meta Quest 3?
Well, the Quest 3 is $499 compared to Vision Pro's $3,499, so it's a very different market. But the Vision Pro's display quality is in a completely different league.
That's quite a price difference. What exactly makes the Vision Pro's display so special?
The Vision Pro has about 23 million pixels total, compared to the Quest 3's 4.3 million. Plus, it uses micro OLED technology for better contrast and color.
But is that enough to justify the price difference?
For most consumers, probably not. But for professionals who need that level of visual fidelity, like medical imaging or industrial design, it could be worth it.
What about the software ecosystem? How do they compare there?
The Quest 3 definitely has more games and entertainment apps, but Vision Pro is focusing more on productivity and professional applications.
Speaking of productivity, how well does it work as a computer replacement?
With the M5, you can now have the equivalent of two 5K monitors floating in space, with a 120 Hz refresh rate. It's pretty impressive for work.
But would you actually want to work that way all day?
That's where the new dual knit band really helps. The improved weight distribution makes longer sessions much more comfortable than before.
Let's talk about some of the unique features. I've heard about something called personas.
Yes, personas are digital avatars that represent you in video calls. The M5 chip has made them more lifelike and responsive.
But they still look a bit uncanny, right?
They're getting better, but yeah, there's still room for improvement. Though, for business meetings, they're more professional than cartoon avatars.
What about battery life? Has that improved with the M5?
The M5 is more efficient, so you can get up to an hour more usage, but you still need to carry the external battery pack.
That seems like a major limitation for something meant to be portable.
True, but it's a necessary trade-off for now. The power needed for those displays and processors is just too much for internal batteries.
What about the development tools? How easy is it to create apps for Vision Pro?
Apple provides extensive development tools and support, including Reality Composer Pro for 3D content. But there's still a learning curve with spatial computing.
Is that why we're not seeing more apps?
Partly, but it's also about the market size. With the high price point, developers are cautious about investing resources.
Do you think we'll see a cheaper version eventually?
That's the rumor, but for now, Apple seems focused on pushing the high-end capabilities of the platform.
What about accessibility? How well does it work for people with disabilities?
That's actually one of its strengths. The eye tracking and hand gestures can be great for people with limited mobility.
And the brain-computer interface research you mentioned earlier could help with that too.
Exactly. The combination of precise tracking and AI could open up new ways for people to interact with technology.
What about privacy? All those cameras and sensors must collect a lot of data.
Apple processes everything on device using the M5 chip, and they've built in strong privacy protections. But it's still something to consider.
Looking ahead, what do you think is next for Vision Pro?
I think we'll see more focus on enterprise and specialized applications, especially in healthcare and industrial design.
But it needs more developers to really take off, right?
Absolutely. The hardware is impressive, but without a rich ecosystem of apps, it'll remain a niche product.
What's your bottom line on the Vision Pro with M5?
It's a significant improvement in comfort and performance, but at $3,500, it's still very much a professional tool rather than a consumer device.
But the potential for things like healthcare applications makes it more than just an expensive toy.
Exactly. The real value isn't in entertainment, it's in how it could transform fields like medicine, design, and accessibility.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. The Vision Pro might be expensive, but it's pushing boundaries in ways we're only beginning to understand.
And who knows, maybe in a few years, we'll look back at this as the moment spatial computing really started to change the world.
Thanks for joining us on Copilot Podcasts. Remember, the future might be expensive, but it's already here if you can afford it.